I know it's only been about a month since Elise rejoined Liquid, but man, do they have a long way to go. And I'm going to show you guys some of the clips from their elimination game against Saw later. And honestly, I'm pretty sure it's going to be worse than you guys expected. This is not just things that are going to be fixed over time. These are fundamental, just silly mistakes that Liquid seem to be making. And that's been the issue of this team the entire time. I don't get it with the players they have. And you know the other annoying thing? It started so well. It started so well. They started with a win against Legacy, which at the time just looks like a decent win, but this actually aged pretty well, because Legacy went on to do pretty well at this tournament, and you had Nerds finally cooking, Ultimate and Elise with good performances, a good all-round scoreboard. Then you take a loss against Aurora, that's fine. Aurora are probably the other best team at this event, and they can be very good in these group stages. Wakadia and Dantares had great games, but still, Nerds was doing well, Naf was doing well, and this is a rare off game from Elise, right? You don't expect this that often, and you figure Elise is probably going to be able to step it up in the future as he gets more used to this team. So, okay, that's all fine. Then they come back and they beat Bet Boom. And this time, we actually get Shuhei playing well. We actually get Ultimate playing well. Naf having a really good performance. So we're getting more of a team effort. And then this one against FlyQuest. Okay, the maps are maybe a little closer than you might have liked. But this scoreboard is pretty much perfect. This is exactly what I want to see from a Team Liquid scoreboard. Elise and Nerds right up there at the top, both having big impact, both having great series. This is what should be happening against this level of team. Naf doing what he does, just being solid. I know that he had a bit of a drop-off recently. Seems like he's getting back to the Naf we expect, who's just so consistently so good. Ultimate's numbers, not necessarily great, but still having pretty good impact. Pretty decent AWPer. And then Shuhei is going to be down there. He's not going to be a big fragger, but as long as he can set up the team, that is fine, because you've got a lot of firepower in your riflers. And so it was all looking good until this. And even on the first map here, it was looking good. They win it 13-4, but then losing the next two maps, 13-2 and 13-1. Okay, maybe the train you can understand because it's Saw's pick and Liquid might not have had much time to get their map pool going, but losing the decider map 13-1? Losing Inferno 13-1? You should accidentally trip over and win a few rounds against Saw, just with the players you have. Like, Elise should just accidentally get you some entries and win you some rounds, right? Naf should just accidentally win a clutch, right? Like, even if you're not playing at your best, Nut should be able to win you a couple of rounds by himself. This is abysmal, right? This is poor. And we're going to get into why, right? Firstly, let's look at this first round. We'll start on train. By the way, I'm going to have to turn the audio off because PGL have claimed me in the past when I've played the audio, which is a bit annoying, but we move. So they're going for this double swing into pop, and they walk out at just the wrong time. Now, this was good information initially that this was clear, but you see the timing, not ideal, because now Saw have this control back, and Liquid are thinking, okay, we've just cleared this, let's rotate a third player over to B, right? That's what they've just done. That's a little unfortunate. Shuhei's going to go off this angle. But actually, as the nades come in, look at the minimap. Alicia's coming back. We're good. We're good. We're chilling. He's going to get back here, right? Except look what happens as he rotates in. Shuhei is not really ready holding this angle yet because he's playing behind the red train, right? And look at the minimap. Why is Elise looking this way? Why is he looking this way? Look at where Shuhei is right now. He's looking at the back of this red train. He is not covering this angle towards Pop. He is clearly not, right? This is clearly miscommunication. And it's just so bad because it means Elise just rotates in. And again, just look at that minimap the whole time. He looks at it like briefly and then turns around and then just dies. And you're like, cool, okay. So Elise just hasn't got to fight anyone. Shuhei gets a nice solid kill, but now he's got two angles to deal with. And by the way, this isn't great either from Shuhei. Got that first kill. I mean, Mac 10 just kind of gets you at range. And now Naf, he was having to hold Ivy. He's just kind of in trouble here. Decides he has to swing on main. Does all right to get one kill, but they're down a man off the back of their A hold. And it literally all comes down to, clearly, some sort of miscommunication here with Elise rotating back in and just looking the complete wrong direction. Right? Because Shuhei was clearly not holding that. These players were already out. Like, I can pause it at the moment that we switch back to Shuhei. This guy's already way out into the site, right? You can already see shooting at Elise as Elise has his back turned. So, okay, not the best start, but we move. We move, right? Into round 4. Oh, okay, there we go. We're back. Liquid have A main control here, right? This is pretty good. This means that you can actually stack another player over to B, and we will see this. Naf is going to rotate over to B any second now, after they've got this A main control, and there we go. You see it on the minimap. He's getting back to B. It looks good. Oh, or does it? Because Nertz is already dead somehow. Look at this again. Yeah, he just gets owned, and then Naf just dies. And you're like, dude, okay, you had all the A main information. You cannot let this happen, right? You cannot let this happen. And we'll watch it back again. Nertz is clearly holding this, expecting this to be a big enough off angle, and he just doesn't get the kill. He commits to it, and unfortunately, Naf is rotating over with a molly in hand. So the one thing Nertz needs to do here is try and survive to make sure Naf can get into position and they can have a solid B hold ready, because they've got early info if it's an A play with that early A info. But instead, he is still unfortunately committed to this off angle. It doesn't work. Naf dies with a molly in his hand. That's just a round loss, and it's just a bit too easy, isn't it? Round number 6. And again, you're going to see a consistent theme, maybe of YouTube buffering, because apparently that's going to keep happening, but also a consistent theme of that. Just easy openings, man. The amount of rounds that they would lose just off the back of like silly mistakes or just really easy opening kills was just so frustrating. Like here you can see there's a molly that's been put in A main. That is either a molly that has not landed in the right spot, or this is just Elige pushing a little too soon, not realizing that the utility wasn't going to be in place yet. And boom, it's just so easy, right? Like against a team like Saw, when you're big favorites, do not make it that easy for them, right? Do not make it that easy for them. It's just too easy. I could hit that shot, okay? I could hit that shot. Okay, round 8. Liquid just took a timeout before this one, right? They took a timeout before this, and what is the one thing you've got to think about after your timeout? Okay, there's 2 things. First, you have to obviously get the team back on track, talk about what you need to change as a team, what is going wrong for you, make sure everyone's still there mentally. But the second thing is, you need to, after you've done all that, think about how are your opponents going to change? Because even though it's going well for Saw, they will be using this timeout, they will be talking to each other, and they will be figuring out if they want to switch things up. And I think it is very common for a team to come out of this timeout and try and just throw you off guard, right? Because Liquid have just had a talk about what they want to change, and so Saw are very likely to just throw something completely different at Liquid so that they can't really put into place whatever it is they're trying to change, okay? So you've got to be ready for that, right? And what happens? Saw do switch things up. They go quick towards B, and are you ready? Nuts! All right, you've got to smoke out. Okay. I mean, they're preparing their push, my guy. They're preparing their quick push. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh! Okay, we've still got a smoke out, and they are out down the ramp. Oh, wait, okay, damn, I've got to get my gun out. And they're just in the site already. They're so deep in the site. Nuts gets one, he gets traded. I mean, you just can't have this happen, right? Like, this is just, for me, a lack of awareness that it's possible that this fast B play can come in, and you've got to be ready for at least one of these in a half. 1 or 2 you will normally see of these faster B plays, just when a team's trying to switch things up. This ain't it. No one likes to see this. Doesn't even get to throw the smoke because they're in so soon. 1 for 1. But more importantly, you can't let that happen because now Saw have full utility to just cut off all these angles, right? They are just going to cut off these angles. They're going to smoke down over here. You're going to see these nades come in. There we go. Boom. Smoke on the right side. And your teammates are just sitting there like, bro, what am I meant to do, right? And Naf tries to do something, by the way. He tries to push through this smoke here. Ends up just dying for it, which unfortunately is going to happen. And yet, they're actually able to come out of this round with something. Shuei gets a little spam. Trade comes in. Elige has to desperately push a smoke, and those are just bangers. That is just Elige bailing you out. Let's be real. Great play from Elige. And I'm pretty sure they actually go on to win this. The story gets stuck in. There we go. Ultimates on the flank. It somehow works out, but honestly, it probably shouldn't have. They kind of got bailed out by some Elige bangers there. Next round, Elige pushed into A main. Okay, this is nice again. Nice bit of early info. We like this. We like this. They're actually a man up at the start of this round as well. I forgot that. I'm pretty sure they wiped the main smoke to get the AWP kill. Elige gets into position. And then, as he goes in behind this smoke, I mean, this re-smoke is just a little late, isn't it? And again, it's just all these small little moments. This re-smoke is a little late. Now, maybe you could argue they've put this in a little late so that Elige can get this angle as a chance to get a kill. I don't think that's the case, and I don't think that works. We'll see on the replay why I don't think that works, but you can see before the smoke can land, Elige just dies, right? And I'm going to show you here on the replay why I don't think it was a plan, because there is, in theory, a world where you re-smoke this a little later so that Elige can get, like, a sneaky little 1 second gap to get a kill, right? That's a possible play. I don't think that's what happened here, though. There was that opening, and you see here, Elige, I'm pretty sure he has to sort of look this way because he's scared that someone could be up close to him in A main, because he hasn't really been able to see if someone was sitting right in that smoke, right? Whereas you can see on the Saw side, they can just hold it from all sorts of angles, right? And that's the problem here. Like, you're going to see, I can't, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell because we don't get Elige's POV, but I think he's clearing like this close player that could be sitting in the smoke, right? Either way, I don't think it's a favorable fight for Elige. Doesn't really work out. And then, look at how this falls from this. Again, the amount of times just the one opening kill will screw you is crazy, right? The amount of times just the one opening kill completely changes everything is crazy. And it's the biggest thing that I think they need to fix. I really think it is, right? Because, like, it's so easy for the first thing to go wrong and then all the following dominoes just fall so quickly. Because as soon as you lose this in A main, right? And this is the other thing about this. I think you want to just re-smoke this because having A main is so strong. But instead, you lose it. Now Shuhei is having to hold between two different angles. So he moves up. He's looking at A main right now. But he looks away just as this player pushes the smoke, which is a high-risk play. But it's the fact that Elige's gone down that's forced Shuhei to reposition here in the first place. He gets caught in the open. And Ultimate doesn't get anything out of this either. And it's like, they haven't even had to use nades. They've just got the first kill, and they're just able to run out, right? And I will give Saw credit, like that smoke push, and a lot of what they were doing in this game caught Liquid off guard very well. But I think Liquid were allowing it to happen a little too easily, and they should have been ready against an underdog. They should have been ready, in my opinion. Round 10. Okay. Liquid try and switch it up in this one. They try a little switch up, but you can already see this smoke is being thrown by the T side to stop this B aggression. And Liquid are going to try and have these two players play aggressively towards Brown Halls. This can work. You know, it's nice to switch up these setups every now and then. I don't mind this. Oh, okay. Well, Nuts just got pre-naded to hell. So that's not ideal, right? You can see here, down to 30. Okay, maybe we should think twice about this. But Ultimate decides to stick with it. Gets into the smoke. And he just decides to sit here. Even though it's kind of obvious Nerds can't really help him at this point. So I'm a bit like, okay, is this really worth it at this point? Are you better off just sitting back? Especially because we've actually also got a push into Pop Dog right now. So maybe you can just wait and sit back a bit instead and just wait so you can fight with your teammates. I feel like that could maybe work better. But Ultimate sits in the smoke. And again, I just feel like sitting in these smokes, it's just always going to be better for the T side. Right? It just always feels like it's going to be better for the T side because they're going to have multiple players here if they're here. Right? That's at least somewhat likely. Or, in any case, they're going to be able to look at the smoke. You can only be in the smoke while they can be in all sorts of angles back here. Right? It makes it really hard. And obviously, you don't have a teammate who can help you off the back of this because the push through Pop hasn't come yet. So Ultimate gets the kill. And unfortunately, this Pop player is like a second too late. So it's not going to look great. They're going to go for the push off the back of this. And, oh, wait, it's working. Okay, it's working. Shuhei's in behind. It's all good, right? And we'll pause here. How many kills do you think you would get from this position sitting at home? More importantly, how many kills do you think Shuhei gets from this position? Bro, how is it possible? How? I mean, like, I don't know. I got to just play it at full speed for you. I haven't played it at full speed yet. Oh, man. And listen, I like Shuhei, but the more I watch this Liquid team, the more I do think, is he just like really, really bad individually? Like, there is that little bit of me that's like, damn, I didn't know you were this ass. I didn't. And that's obviously an especially bad clip, but like, oh, okay. Listen, we'll move on for Shuhei's sake. We'll move swiftly on. Round 12. Naf, who hasn't really had much to do in this game, starts this round well, actually. Nice little flash. Boom. Gets him the kill. Probably saw the AWP as well. Good start, right? And I feel a bit bad for Naf in this game because I feel like he hasn't really messed up towards Ivy. His teammates have just kind of messed up every round. But he puts the molly down. He puts the smoke down. We've got the man advantage. All right, nice. We can sit back. We can chill. Finally, we haven't given away a silly kill early in a round. Let's just sit on our advantage and try and make sure we convert another one. Except, Naf, what did I tell you guys about sitting in smokes, right? Again, Naf is having to clear like this close angle, and this angle to Ivy. While if there is a T holding, he can just really quickly adjust because there's way less of an angle that he has to hold. And boom, that's exactly what happens. Story gets the kill back. And he should have seen the AWP there earlier. Now, yes, I think it's pretty common that the AWP would reposition in this sort of scenario. Like, normally the AWP will realize, there's a smoke here. I'll go for a pick elsewhere. But still, I just don't feel like this was a necessary play at this point in the game. I just think you got to hold your 5v4 advantage. But to be fair, his teammates have been kind of screwing up the entire game. So I'm not going to blame Naf too hard, okay? I'm not going to blame him too hard. Sometimes you get the read wrong. That's fine. That's all well and good. What is not all well and good is then towards B, again, Agile. Like, he just decides to walk through the smoke, and Saw would just keep, like, making these disrespectful plays where they just walk in, and Liquid just seem to not be able to deal with them every time. Like, you see here, Nerds, he's just holding lower, not holding up at all, assuming that there'll be nades if they walk through upper, and boom, he just dies. And again, as your B anchor, that just cannot happen, man. This cannot happen. Like, it can happen occasionally, sure. But, like, I feel like I see it with Nerds too much, where it's like he just gets caught out like that. And the thing that confuses me is, I'd have thought that B anchor on train, that feels like a NAF spot to me, right? Like, that feels like okay, I put a reliable pair of hands here, I put NAF here, and he just locks it down. But again, it just feels like Liquid just allow this to happen so often, where whenever their opponents do something unexpected, or they just don't fully have like the perfect start to a round or perfect map control, they just let this happen, and you know, it just goes against them, right? So that was pretty bad, okay? But we had the caveats, right? Okay, that was Saw's map pick. The map pool might not be there yet. Let's look at Inferno. You know, that's what you're saying. Hawker, judge them on Inferno. Okay, I will. Don't worry, I will. Well, the pistol round, I don't have much to say other than it's a sign of things to come when you get destroyed this hard in the pistol. Like, the dualies just wreck them. Like, okay, not the best start, but we move, okay? We believe in the comeback. We believe. And this first gun round, Elige actually makes a good play here. Flashing through. Boom. Flashes again. Boom. Gets one opening. Gets two. Boom. He's cracked. He's cracked. And this is what I was talking about earlier when I'm saying you should just be accidentally winning rounds like this. Like, these players are good enough that they should just be doing that sometimes. And boom. Right, okay. We got our first round win. If you remember correctly, astute viewers will remember, this is Liquid's only round win. So you're telling me that on the Decider map, your only round win and your only T-side round win is literally just based off of Elige making a full solo play. Because this is a full solo play, pretty much. I mean, it might have been a call to go through this smoke if it came, but this is literally, I mean, you can look at it. Like, Elige is the one who throws both flashes. Oh, sorry, it's just the one flash. He throws the one flash in there, blinds them, and just pops two heads, right? Because Saw were trying this aggressive move, right? That's the only round you can win? Okay, well, we've got to see how this happens. Into round 5. We're going to get the molly into banana, and then I think Shuhei's smoke just doesn't seem to extinguish it because he's still burning here, which forces him into the open. And you can see that kind of just allows time for Saw to get this counter utility down. Because his smoke here hasn't really seemed to extinguish, he's just kind of like awkwardly forced round and then has to go behind his own molly. And so Saw are just going to do what is the standard utility. As soon as this molly fades, they're like, okay, we'll just throw our util. And boom, big damage, big kill. And then look at that. Nertz is so unsure here. Like you can see, Shuhei pretty far in as the first player. Nertz here should probably be the second player in, right? Should be the second player in. He's ready. Except he goes back, and then Elige comes forwards because he's like, okay, no, we were taking banana. So he goes in as Nertz goes back. And then the molly comes in, and Elige does well to get the kill. But again, they're just losing the trades, right? So down in a 3v4. Not ideal. But again, it was like kind of a low buy, right? It's workable from here. It's not impossible. You have some utility. And then I don't know what Nertz is trying. What did he think was going to happen? Like, this almost feels like he got annoyed that Saw kept making these risky plays. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to give them a taste of their own medicine. And like, the more I watch Nertz, I've always felt like he's a high-risk player. But there's part of me that wonders, like, on his old team, was it just their old coach on Heroic Saw that was just like really helping him figure out what he needed to do at certain moments? Is that something that helped him a lot? Because sometimes like he just makes so many plays where I'm just confused by what was the idea. It almost feels like he's making up for the fact that he didn't commit hard enough to try and get this trade kill earlier on banana, right? And now he maybe feels like his team's annoyed at him, so he just tries to full commit because he was like, oh, wait, I didn't realize we're taking banana, guys. Okay, yeah, we're taking B. And then he just goes in, and it's like, okay, well, that's going to be that round done then. Cool. Thanks for that, mate. Round number 9. And again, like, just early advantages there. Just Shuhei getting legged by Story, just peeking down mid with the AWP. And then it's going to turn into the opening kill, and it's just so many of these rounds where this nade's going to come in after Shuhei throws this molly. Makes it obvious where he is, and boom, he's dead. And then over on banana, Nertz is defaulting there, and he just commits into banana, and you're going to see in a second, utility on towards him, and boom, he's dead as well. And it's just so many of these rounds where it's like, it's just right at the start of the round, it's like the round is over, right? And this has been the biggest issue for them, is even in these defaults, they just seem to die so often that their individuals can't even save the round for them. Like, what are you meant to do from this position, right? You're 3v5 on Inferno, you have top mid, you've lost banana entirely. It's just so hard to do anything from here, right? It's like, it's bad, man. It's bad. And then again, in this round, you're going to see it again. They just can't seem to hold a default. They just can't seem to not lose a player right at the start of the round. And again, Saw switched it up nicely. I like what Saw were doing here. Don't get me wrong. Give them credit. They were playing as you should as the underdog, going aggressive, making Liquid uncomfortable, especially against a team that has made a fairly recent roster move. But it's that push into second mid. You see on the map, Naf gets, well, taken out, and then boom. We got Liquid coming into the B site. They're kind of forced into it. I don't even mind this call as much. It's a pretty decent B execute, but Saw still have good counter util. You're going to see here Muterus able to play ahead of the smoke as well. Aragon actually goes down, but the coffin smoke is so deep that Muterus is able to get one kill, just decides to fade away, and they still have so many nades here, Saw. They just wipe this smoke, eventually get the trade, and now Liquid have dropped the bomb, and it's just really hard at this point. It's really well managed by Saw. Right? It's exactly what you want to do in this scenario. You have this flank coming in as well, and boom. Liquid can't get the bomb down, and they get done for. And then, this last round, okay? You've got this good control, Liquid, right? You've got top mid. Yes, there are plenty of Saw players here, but if you execute him through short, which they do, it's going to look pretty good for you. And I like the pace of this. I like the pace of this play. It's quite nice, right? Just a quick flash in. You don't have much util. Let's just go for something quick. Agile does pretty well to get 2 here, but you trade him out, and you got to spam through the smoke into a 3v3. Okay, this is good. This is a chance for another round. This is nice. Now, what do we need to do in the 3v3 on A site, guys? What do we need to do, right? Play together, right? Let's play together, okay? That is all I ask. Just play together, boys. That's all we need to do, right? As long as we play off of each other, even if it doesn't work out, I can be happy, right? Just play together. Just play together. Play together! Just play together, boys! Please play together! play together. Okay, we're not playing together. No, we don't need to play together. No, never mind. Never mind. I mean, it's just an annoying one. I honestly, I kind of feel bad for Elige. I mean, it's probably lucky that Elige is bald, because I think if he wasn't bald, he'd be losing his hair on this team. I genuinely think that. And listen, he hasn't exactly been great yet, but it's just been the longest time that it's been stuff like this. And again, it's just a weird scenario here where, like, Elige takes the first contact, even though no one can really trade off of him. Like, he's sitting in mini pit, and you can see Ultimate is not going to be able to trade him. I don't really know what Shuhei's holding either. I think he's just holding this super passive angle on short. So instead of holding crossfires, Elige pops his head up. It is a really nice shot, but no one can do anything off the back of this, right? And I get that they might be scared of apartments and this short walk up, but you got to do something here to work together, right? You even have a flash if you want it on Shuhei. Like, there's got to be better options than this. And instead, Ultimate, like, tries to trade, but then he's like, actually, I can't, because the angle isn't going to work out. He might be scared of apps or short. And then he's just going to get dealt with. And Shuhei can't really work off the back of this either. And it's like, oh, man, it's just not great. It's just not great. And this has been the thing the whole time. It feels like it's just been so many of the fundamentals that have been lacking. I don't know if it's just like the team play between the players on this lineup is not here or what, but on paper, this lineup looks good. And again, on trade, I can forgive some of it because it's just clearly not a map that they're going to be as well versed on. But on this Inferno, there were some unlucky scenarios where they were getting spammed through smokes that I didn't show. But overall, it just doesn't look great, right? And again, they don't win rounds tactically. They don't get the chance to win rounds off their individuals because they just seem to lose in default so often. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. I think there has obviously been progress at this tournament. And again, maybe they just need a little longer to fully get the map pool up to speed. But some of the fundamental mistakes I feel like I've just seen on this roster for so long. And I can't figure out why. I cannot figure out for the life of me why. Maybe it's a coaching thing. I don't know. Maybe Flashy's going to fix it. Whatever the reason, they got a long way to go, man. I hope they can get there. I think there's a chance. But if I had to give you my gut read right now, even though the players are playing better, I just don't know if I see it. I don't know if I see it with this, but maybe they're going to go away. They're going to prove me wrong. Let's hope so, because NA need it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you next time.